What's up, Guardians, and welcome back, Warlocks. I'm Profane, thanks for checking out the video. If you've kept up with the channel recently, you've probably noticed that we've been showcasing a lot of new builds here in Edge of Fate, and today we've got another outstanding Warlock build to look at. Today's Prismatic build is great for creating tactical advantages that will help you manage the flow of each engagement, giving you the freedom to move around the battlefield more easily, and providing you with great levels of survivability as you do, which will help you get through mythic level activities and anything else that you might find yourself jumping into. Today's build revolves around the use of the Rime-Coat Raiment exotic chess piece. This exotic provides several upgrades to the Bleak Watcher turret, which means that this could be ran on the standard Stasis subclass, but the level of damage, ability regen, and survival drops down exponentially whenever we don't use this exotic with Prismatic. Instead of creating a normal turret, this exotic creates an overcharged one that sits higher up off the ground. The turret itself will continue to apply slow to nearby enemies, just as it always has, but it will be able to target enemies from greater distances. And below the turret, a storm of stasis energy will emerge, and around its perimeter, you will have 4 medium-sized crystals develop. Enemies who pass through the storm will take stacks of slow, but if we stand inside the storm, we will receive a tiny stasis buddy. This will act as an additional turret that launches projectiles towards enemies that we target onto. The crystals from the storm can be destroyed to inflict additional damage, and when they do get destroyed, they will return after a few seconds. This upgraded turret will create a lot of advantages for us, as we can use these defensively and offensively. We could drop one of these right next to a mob of enemies. The turret would immediately go to work at targeting those nearby enemies. The stasis storm would start to apply slow, and the crystals would start to shatter, collapsing all of that shatter damage right onto the enemies. And while that's happening, we're going to be sitting back from cover, picking off everything that's getting frozen. But we could also drop a turret right next to us, or somewhere else that we're trying to get, and once the crystals are up, we can use those as a makeshift barricade to be able to protect us from incoming fire. And because we have chosen to use this on Prismatic, we'll have the benefits of Devour, providing us with bonus grenade energy and bonus health regen. The amount of grenade energy that we get back will be based on the difficulty level of each enemy. We'll gain 15% bonus energy on each rank and file enemy, but as much as 40% bonus grenade energy whenever defeating champions and boss level enemies. And that's the big difference maker between Prismatic and Stasis. We would have Frost Armor with Stasis, but that's not going to be good enough when we're in more challenging activities. When it comes to our Prismatic Fragments, we have chosen to go with Facet of Ruin, which increases the damage created whenever crystals shatter. This also increases the radius of shatter and solar ignitions, which means that this is going to have a direct impact on the performance of our upgraded Bleak Watcher, and we can play into this benefit even further by running stasis weapons with Chill Clip, Cold Steel, and Headstone, or solar weapons with Incandescent and Burning Ambition. We've got Facet of Dawn equipped, which will grant us with Radiance whenever we strike enemies with our powered melee. We are using Arcane Needles because of the range that they have. These also unravel enemies, which will continue to damage them over time. When we become Radiant, we will trigger a 20% bonus in weapon damage, and all of our weapons will gain the ability to pierce barrier shields. And since we have 3 melee charges, we'll be able to keep Radiance triggered much more consistently. By utilizing the Shield Crush artifact mod, we can play off of our Radiant buff to give ourselves a 25% bonus in grenade regeneration, which is going to work alongside Devour to greatly improve the uptime of our turret. To improve that regen even further, we are using Facet of Balance, so whenever we rapidly defeat enemies with dark energies, we'll generate 10% bonus grenade energy, and we'll get 10% bonus melee energy whenever we rapidly defeat enemies with light abilities. The final fragment that we're using is Facet of Courage. This provides a 10% increase in light-based ability damage whenever they get used against enemies who are slowed, frozen, severed, or unraveled. This doesn't increase weapon damage, but it will increase the damage caused by Scorch and Ignitions, regardless of how those are applied. And if we add in the Carterized Darkness artifact mod, we'll give any source of solar damage a 30% increase whenever they're used against enemies who are under the effects of a darkness debuff. So we have the potential to deal out much more damage than we ever have been with this exotic, and all we need to do is incorporate a heavy mix of solar weapons and abilities, and that's one of the reasons we're using Song of Flame. We'll be able to spread a ton of Scorch and create a ton of Ignitions with this super, and this does provide a 90% bonus in damage resistance when it's active, so this can be a great fallback option for when times get really tough. We could opt towards using a super like Needle Storm or Nova Bomb, but when you're in the middle of mythic content, Song of Flame will be much more dependable. We've already mentioned a few artifact mods, but another mod that we should be using is Elemental Coalescence, which will play right into the use of Song of Flame. As we rapidly defeat enemies, we'll create Fire Sprites. Fire Sprites provide 12.5% bonus grenade energy, adding into what we're getting from Devour and Shield Crush. So with our choices in subclass and artifact, we're improving our overall survivability. We're increasing our overall damage output, and we're giving ourselves an abundance of additional grenade energy, which will see us littering the battlefield with Bleak Watchers. Before we dig into the best weapons to use with this build, I want to talk about our choices in armor. When it comes to character stats, we're aiming for 100 points in our grenade. We don't need bonus grenade damage with stasis turrets, but we do want to get that 190% bonus in ability regen, and that's going to free us up to devote a good amount of stats towards weapons, which will increase our heavy ammo drops and our weapon damage. If you are struggling to get your grenade stat to 100, then I would recommend to use grenade font armor mods. With just one mod equipped, we'll gain 20 points towards our grenade stat, 40 points with 2 mods, and 50 points with 3. We do have a lot of interesting armor sets that are now available, but there's only 2 that would really amplify the performance of this build, and that's going to be the Bushido set, which provides health regen with its 2-piece bonus, and damage resistance with its 4-piece bonus. But we would need to run shotguns, swords, or bows to be able to trigger the effects of the 4-set bonus. There's also the Collective Psyche set, which would extend the duration of Radiance, Restoration, Sever, and Unravel. And with Radiance having increased duration, will extend how long we'll get that bonus grenade energy from Shield Crush. There's quite a few standout exotic weapons that you could pair with the Rime-Coat Raiment. The Wicked Implement, Dragon's Breath, Sunshot, Polaris Lance, Vergless Curve, and Aegir Scepter would all be incredible options that would synergize well with this build. We could even go with No Time to Explain, and that would be a great choice if we were using Tech Stack Armor. But the one exotic that I find to be the most cohesive to this build is Finality's Augur. We've already got stasis turrets barreling down on enemies, but this will give us an overpowered solar turret that's going to sweep everything right off the board. And if we've gotten its catalyst upgraded, we're giving it the added benefit of Bait and Switch, which will really bump up our damage potential. When it comes to legendary weapons, we've already spoken about the importance of Chill Clip and Headstone, Incandescent and Burning Ambition, but we would also like to see Demolitionist, which grants bonus grenade energy on final blows, and as we throw our grenade, our magazine will be refilled. We also have Blast Distributor, which is a new weapon trait that provides bonus grenade stats after final blows, and that can provide a max of 55 stat points, so if you're falling short on that grenade stat, this could be a great option to crank out more grenades. Regardless of what weapons you decide to run with this build, you're going to be an unstoppable force, and your enemies are going to be too distracted by your turrets to be effective against you, giving you the advantage in every engagement that you go into. So if you haven't given the Rime-Coat Raiment a try here in Edge of Fate, it's about damn time you do so, because this is an incredible build that's going to bring you success with anything you do in Destiny. That does bring us to an end of today's video, but I thank you as always for checking it out. If you enjoyed and found it helpful, then be sure to hit that like button below, along with the subscribe button if you're new. Both are greatly appreciated and both really do help support the channel, and so does being a member, so a big thank you to all of our channel members. If you need help making a copy of today's build, then be sure to check out my Mobalytics and dim links, which are down below. And until next time, Guardians, this has been Profane, wishing you all some happy hunting.